Sarah Chen stared at the warning lights flashing across her control screen. Red alerts covered every monitor in the mining station's command center. Something big was coming toward their small colony on Kepler 442b, and it was not friendly. "How many ships?" Sarah asked her communications officer, Tom Bradley. Her voice stayed calm, even though her heart was racing. "At least 50, maybe more," Tom replied. He wiped sweat from his face. "They're huge, Sarah. Bigger than anything we've ever seen." Sarah looked out the window at the dark space above their planet. Kepler 442b was humanity's farthest colony from Earth. Only 3,000 people lived here, mostly miners and their families. They had come here to dig for rare metals, not to fight wars. The colony had basic defenses, a few laser turrets, and some old missile pods. These weapons were meant to stop pirates, not an alien armada. Sarah knew they were in serious trouble. "Try to contact them," Sarah ordered. "Maybe they just want to talk." Tom worked on his radio equipment for several minutes. Then his face turned pale. "Sarah, you need to hear this." A strange voice came through the speakers. It spoke broken human words in a cold, mechanical tone. "People of this world, you will obey us, or you will die. All humans must surrender now. You have 1 hour." Sarah felt her blood turn cold. These aliens were not here to trade or explore. They wanted to destroy humanity. "Send a message to Earth," Sarah told Tom. "Tell them what's happening here." "I can't," Tom said. His hands shook as he tried different radio frequencies. "They're blocking all our signals. Nothing is getting through." The alien ships moved closer. Sarah could see them now through the station's telescopes. They looked like living things, made of metal and bone. Dark energy flowed along their hulls like blood through veins. These ships had destroyed other worlds before. Sarah could feel it. "All families to the underground shelters," Sarah announced over the colony's speaker system. "This is not a drill. All security teams, to defense positions." People ran through the station's halls. Children cried as their parents carried them to safety. The miners grabbed whatever weapons they could find. Everyone knew they were about to fight for their lives. The alien ships opened fire without warning. Bright energy beams hit the colony's defense platforms. The laser turrets exploded in balls of fire. The missile pods lasted only seconds longer. Sarah watched years of human work disappear in minutes. "They're landing troops," someone shouted. Through the windows, Sarah saw alien soldiers marching toward the station. They walked on 4 legs like spiders, but had long arms that carried terrible weapons. Their skin looked like black metal. Red eyes glowed in their faces. The human security teams tried to stop them. Their bullets bounced off the aliens' armor. The alien weapons fired back with deadly accuracy. Human soldiers fell one by one. "Sarah, we need to evacuate," Tom said. "There's an old mining tunnel that leads to the mountains. Some people might escape." Sarah shook her head. "Someone needs to warn Earth. These aliens will go there next." She ran to the emergency communication room. This room had the colony's most powerful radio transmitter. It was their only chance to break through the alien jamming. Tom followed her. "Even if you get a signal through, Earth is 23 light-years away. By the time they get your message, we'll all be dead." "Maybe," Sarah said. "But humanity needs to know what's coming." The station shook as alien weapons hit the main building. Lights flickered and went out. Emergency power kicked in, casting everything in red light. Sarah reached the communication room and started the transmitter. It would take all the station's remaining power to boost the signal strong enough to reach Earth. This would leave the colony defenseless. But Sarah did not care anymore. "Help me with this," Sarah told Tom. Together, they worked to aim the transmitter toward Earth. Explosions grew louder outside. Alien soldiers were breaking into the station. Human screams echoed through the halls. "Signal ready," Tom said. You have maybe 30 seconds before they reach us. Sarah grabbed the microphone. She thought about Earth, 23 light-years away. She thought about her sister Elena, who served in Earth's space navy. She thought about all the humans who did not know death was coming for them. This is Colony Administrator Sarah Chen at Meridian Mining Station, Kepler 442b. She said into the microphone. We are under attack by unknown alien forces. 50 or more warships. Advanced technology. They demand surrender or death. The door to the communication room exploded inward. Alien soldiers poured through the opening, their red eyes fixed on Sarah and Tom. Sarah kept talking. They've destroyed our defenses in minutes. These aliens have done this before. They're coming for Earth next. This is our final SOS. Tell them. Tell them humanity burns bright. An alien weapon fired. The world went white, then black. The signal raced through space toward Earth, carrying humanity's last warning from their furthest colony. In the communication room, silence fell. Outside, the fires of human civilization on Kepler 442b began to die out. The aliens had sent their message. Now, they would wait to see how humanity answered. Admiral Marcus Rodriguez read the message for the 5th time. 3 weeks had passed since the signal arrived from Kepler 442b. 3 weeks since humanity learned they were not alone in the universe, and that their new neighbors wanted them dead. Sir, the analysis is complete, said Dr. Jennifer Walsh, the fleet's chief intelligence officer. She placed a thick folder on Rodriguez's desk. Her face looked tired and worried. Give me the summary, Rodriguez said. He leaned back in his chair and prepared for bad news. The aliens call themselves the Vorthak Hegemony, Dr. Walsh began. We've found records of them in the databases we captured from that crashed probe near Jupiter last month. They've been moving across this part of the galaxy for over 200 years. End quote. We've found records of them. Rodriguez frowned. How many worlds have they attacked? 17 that we know of, Dr. Walsh replied. Every single one was completely destroyed. No survivors, no negotiations. They don't take prisoners or slaves. They just kill everything and move on. The admiral stood up and walked to his office window. Outside, he could see Earth's orbital shipyards working day and night. Hundreds of ships were under construction. But Rodriguez knew it would not be enough. How long do we have? He asked. Based on their previous patterns, they'll reach Earth in 8 months, Dr. Walsh said. Maybe 9 if they stop to destroy the other human colonies first. Rodriguez turned back to his desk. What do our experts think about their technology? Dr. Walsh opened her folder. Their ships are at least 100 years ahead of ours. Maybe more. Their weapons can destroy our best battleships in one hit. Their armor can stop anything we have. So we can't win, Rodriguez said. Not in a straight fight, Dr. Walsh agreed. The Defense Council is recommending evacuation. We could load colony ships with as many people as possible and run to another part of the galaxy. Rodriguez was quiet for a long moment. Then, he picked up the communication device from Sarah Chen. The device was damaged, but still worked. He had listened to her final message many times. Dr. Walsh, how many humans live in our colonies and on Earth? He asked. About 12 billion people total, sir. And how many could we evacuate before the aliens arrive? Dr. Walsh looked uncomfortable. Maybe 50 million. If we're lucky. Well, one. Rodriguez nodded slowly. So we abandon 12 billion people to save 50 million. We run away and let the aliens win. Sir, it might be our only choice, Dr. Walsh said quietly. No, Rodriguez said firmly. There's another choice. We fight. Dr. Walsh stared at him. Admiral, you just heard the analysis. We can't win against their technology. Rodriguez smiled, but it was not a happy smile. Dr. Walsh, do you know what Sarah Chen meant when she said humanity burns bright? I'm not sure, sir. She meant that humans don't go quietly into the dark, Rodriguez explained. When someone tries to kill us, we fight back. Even when we can't win, we make them pay for it. The Admiral pressed a button on his desk. Get me the Defense Council. All members. Emergency session in 1 hour. An hour later, Rodriguez stood before the 12 most powerful military leaders in human space. Generals, admirals, and intelligence chiefs filled the secure meeting room. All of them looked worried. Gentlemen, ladies, Rodriguez began. You've all read the reports. The Vorthok are coming, and they want to exterminate humanity. Some of you think we should run. I disagree. General Patricia Hayes, commander of Earth's ground forces, spoke up. Admiral, running might save some of our people. Fighting will save none of them. General Hayes, I have a different plan, Rodriguez said. He activated a holographic display that showed the entire solar system. We're going to take every ship we have. Military, civilian, cargo haulers, pleasure craft, everything that can mount weapons or carry troops. We're going to meet the Vorthak between the stars. The room erupted in shocked voices. That's suicide, someone shouted. Rodriguez raised his hand for silence. Maybe. But here's what the Vorthak don't know about humans. We've been fighting wars for thousands of years. Not against aliens who follow logical patterns, but against each other. We know how to be unpredictable. Admiral Chen, Sarah's sister Elena, leaned forward. What exactly are you proposing? The Vorthak expect us to defend our worlds, Rodriguez explained. Instead, we attack them. We use hit-and-run tactics. We make their journey to Earth as costly as possible. Maybe we can't win, but we can show them that humanity doesn't surrender. The debate lasted for hours. Some council members called the plan crazy. Others said it was humanity's only chance to die with honor. In the end, they voted. 8 voted yes. 4 voted no. Rodriguez began giving orders immediately. Elena, I want you to take command of the stealth squadrons. Your job is to find their weaknesses. Patricia, start converting civilian ships into military vessels. Everyone else, we have 8 months to prepare for war. As the meeting ended, Elena Chen approached Rodriguez. Admiral, you knew my sister Sarah. Do you really think this is what she would want? Rodriguez looked at Elena for a moment. Your sister could have run to the escape tunnels. Instead, she stayed to warn Earth. She chose to fight, even when she knew she would die. Yes, I think this is what she would want. 3 days later, Rodriguez stood on the bridge of the battleship Defiance. Through the view screen, he could see the largest fleet in human history assembling. Warships and converted cargo vessels stretched across space like stars. Rodriguez activated the fleet-wide communication system. This is Admiral Rodriguez to all ships. The enemy thinks they've seen the last of humanity. They destroyed our people on Kepler 442b to send us a message. Now we're going to send them one back. They're about to learn they've only seen the beginning. The human fleet began to move toward the edge of the solar system. Behind them, Earth continued its preparations for war. Ahead of them, somewhere in the darkness between stars, the Vorthok Armada was coming. Rodriguez thought about Sarah Chen's final words. Humanity would burn bright indeed. Captain Elena Vasquez guided her ship through the asteroid field with careful movements. The ship, called Ghost Runner, was one of humanity's newest stealth vessels. Its hull was covered with experimental materials that made it nearly invisible to alien sensors. Contact ahead, whispered Lieutenant Park, the ship's sensor operator. 3 Vorthak destroyers, 2 kilometers off our port side. Elena watched the alien ships through her view screen. They moved in perfect formation, like parts of one large machine. She had been studying the Vorthak for 2 months now, ever since Admiral Rodriguez sent her to find their weaknesses. Are they scanning us? Elena asked quietly. No, Captain. They don't see us, Park replied. Whatever these new stealth systems are made of, they work. Elena nodded. The stealth technology came from captured alien debris. Human scientists had studied Vorthak ship fragments for weeks to understand how they worked. It was humanity's first real advantage in this war. Take us closer, Elena ordered. I want to see how they communicate. The Ghost Runner drifted toward the alien ships like a piece of space debris. Elena had done this dozens of times over the past months. Each mission taught humanity more about their enemy. The Vorthak ships were strange to look at. They seemed alive, with surfaces that moved like breathing skin. Dark energy flowed through channels in their hulls. These ships grew rather than being built, Elena had learned. The aliens created them like humans might grow crops. Captain, I'm picking up their communication signals, said Communications Officer Torres. Same pattern as before. It's like they're all thinking together. Elena had noticed this before. The Vorthak ships never seemed to discuss plans or give orders. They just acted together, as if they shared one mind. Human military experts called it perfect coordination. Elena called it creepy. Record everything, Elena ordered. Command wants to know how their network operates. Suddenly, alarms sounded throughout the Ghost Runner. Captain! Human ships approaching fast, Park reported. It's the main fleet. Elena cursed under her breath. The main human fleet was supposed to be 50 light-years away. What were they doing here? What were they doing here? What were they doing here? Through her view screen, Elena watched a dozen human battleships drop out of faster-than-light travel. They immediately opened fire on the Vorthak destroyers. Bright energy beams and nuclear missiles filled space with light and explosions. The Vorthak ships responded instantly. They did not need to communicate or plan. All 3 alien vessels turned and fired as one unit. Their weapons were incredibly powerful, but the human ships scattered in different directions. This is Battleship Retribution to unknown stealth vessel, came a voice over the radio. Identify yourself and join the attack. This is Captain Vasquez, Elena replied. We're on a reconnaissance mission. Why are you here? Change of plans, came the response. Admiral Rodriguez ordered all units to begin hit-and-run attacks. We're not waiting for them to reach Earth anymore. Elena watched the battle unfold. The human ships moved in chaotic patterns, attacking from different angles. 2 Vorthak destroyers exploded under the combined assault, but the 3rd ship managed to destroy a human cruiser before retreating. Follow that ship, Elena ordered. The surviving Vorthak destroyer jumped to faster-than-light speed. Elena's ship followed, staying far enough behind to avoid detection. She wanted to see where it was going. The alien ship led them to a massive Vorthak fleet gathering near a dead star system. Elena had never seen so many alien vessels in one place. There were hundreds of ships. From small fighters to enormous dreadnoughts the size of cities. My God, whispered Lieutenant Park. How are we supposed to fight all of this? Elena studied the alien formation. The ships moved together like a school of fish, turning and shifting as one group. Then she noticed something important. Torres, are you recording their communication signals? Elena asked. Yes, Captain. But it's strange. The signals are getting stronger as more ships gather together. Elena felt excitement building in her chest. Park! Scan that large ship in the center. The one that looks like a giant squid. Park worked his sensors for several minutes. It's incredible, Captain. That ship is sending signals to all the others. It's like a command center, but the signals are biological, not electronic. A hive mind, Elena breathed. They're all connected to one central brain. This was the breakthrough humanity needed. The Vorthak's greatest strength was their perfect coordination. But if they all shared one mind, then that mind could be attacked. Set course for Earth, Elena ordered. Maximum speed. We need to get this information to Admiral Rodriguez immediately. As the Ghost Runner raced through space, Elena thought about what she had discovered. The Vorthok fought like one giant creature, with hundreds of bodies. But every creature had a weakness, and Elena thought she had found theirs. 3 weeks later, Elena stood in a secure laboratory on Luna Base. Dr. James Park, the fleet's chief scientist, was showing her his latest project. The room was filled with alien technology and human computers. Your report about their hive mind was perfect, Doctor, Park said. We've been studying the communication signals you recorded. The Vorthak use quantum frequencies to link their brains together. Can we disrupt those frequencies? Elena asked. Better than that, Doctor. Park smiled. We can overload them. I've created a virus. Not biological, but quantum. It's designed to make their shared mind think too many thoughts at once. Elena looked at the small device Dr. Park held in his hands. How do we deliver it? 1. That's the hard part, Dr. Park admitted. Someone needs to get close enough to their command ship to upload the virus directly into their network. It would be a suicide mission. Elena nodded. She had expected as much. How close? Physical contact with their hull, Dr. Park said. Maybe 100 meters at most. Elena thought about the massive Vorthak fleet she had seen. Getting within 100 meters of their command ship would be impossible for most ships. But maybe not for a stealth vessel. Doctor, how long until that virus is ready? Elena asked. 2 days, maybe 3. Make it 2, Elena said. The main Vorthak fleet will reach the outer colonies soon. We're running out of time. As Elena left the laboratory, she thought about her sister Sarah. Sarah had given her life to warn humanity about the Vorthak threat. Now it might be Elena's turn to make the ultimate sacrifice. But if Dr. Park's virus worked, Elena's death might save billions of human lives. That seemed like a fair trade. Elena began planning her mission. She would take the Ghost Runner deep into enemy territory, past hundreds of alien warships, to reach their command vessel. She would upload the virus and pray that it worked. If it did not work, humanity would face the Vorthak with conventional weapons and almost certainly lose. If it did work, the aliens' perfect coordination would become perfect chaos. Elena smiled grimly as she walked toward her ship. Either way, the Vorthak were about to learn something important about humans. When humanity was cornered, they became very dangerous indeed. The war had been going on for 4 months, and humanity was losing. Admiral Rodriguez stood on the bridge of his flagship, watching the latest battle reports scroll across his screens. Each victory cost them more ships than they could afford to lose. Sir, we just lost the Beta Centauri colony, reported Communications Officer Williams. The Vorthak destroyed everything. No survivors. Rodriguez closed his eyes for a moment. Beta Centauri had been home to 2 million people. Now, they were all dead, and the alien fleet was moving closer to Earth. How many ships do we have left? Rodriguez asked. 412 combat-ready vessels, replied Fleet Commander Hayes. Down from 800 last month. Rodriguez nodded grimly. The human fleet was being ground down ship by ship, battle by battle. Their hit-and-run tactics had slowed the Vorthak advance, but could not stop it. For every alien ship they destroyed, humanity lost 3 of their own. Admiral, incoming message from Captain Vasquez, Williams announced. Elena's face appeared on the main screen. She looked tired and determined. Her stealth ship had been operating behind enemy lines for weeks. Admiral, I have good news and bad news, Elena said. The good news is that Dr. Park's virus is ready. The bad news is that I need to get within physical contact of their command ship to deploy it. Rodriguez studied Elena's face. She was Sarah Chen's sister, and like Sarah, She was willing to die for humanity's survival. "What do you need from me?" Rodriguez asked. "A distraction," Elena replied. "The biggest, loudest distraction you can manage. I need their entire fleet focused on something else, while I sneak up on their command ship." Rodriguez understood immediately. "How big a distraction are we talking about?" "All of it, sir. Every ship we have. A direct assault on their main fleet." The bridge fell silent. Rodriguez looked around at his officers. They all knew what Elena was asking for. She wanted the entire human fleet to attack the Vorthak Armada directly, a battle they could not possibly win. "Elena, that would be suicide for everyone involved," Rodriguez said quietly. "Maybe, sir. But if the virus works, it might end this war. If it doesn't work, we're all dead anyway. In a few more months." Rodriguez thought about the billions of people on Earth and the remaining colonies. He thought about Sarah Chen's final message and her words about humanity burning bright. "When do you need this distraction?" Rodriguez asked. "The Vorthak fleet will reach the Jupiter system in 3 days," Elena replied. "That's our best chance. They'll be spread out for the final approach to Earth." Rodriguez made his decision. "Understood, Captain. You'll have your distraction." Elena's image disappeared from the screen. Rodriguez turned to his officers. Begin fleet mobilization," he ordered. "I want every combat vessel we have ready to move in 48 hours. We're going to Jupiter." Fleet Commander Hayes stepped forward. "Admiral, this is suicide. We'll be outnumbered 5-1. "Probably," Rodriguez agreed. "But sometimes, the best way to win a war is to do something so crazy that your enemy doesn't see it coming." 2 days later, the human fleet assembled near Jupiter's orbit. Rodriguez had managed to gather 400 ships, ranging from massive battleships to converted cargo vessels armed with nuclear missiles. It was the largest human military force ever assembled, and it was still tiny compared to the Vorthak Armada approaching from the outer system. "Sir, alien fleet detected," reported the sensor officer. 537 vessels. Range 12 light minutes, and closing. Rodriguez opened a channel to the entire human fleet. "This is Admiral Rodriguez to all ships. Today we make our final stand, not for victory, but for humanity itself. The enemy thinks we're weak because we're outnumbered. They think we're cowards because we've been running. Today we show them what humans really are." The Vorthak fleet appeared on the main screen, looking like a swarm of alien insects moving through space. Their ships moved in perfect formation, coordinated by their hive mind network. "All ships, begin attack run," Rodriguez ordered. The human fleet charged toward the alien armada. Nuclear missiles and energy weapons lit up space between the two forces. The battle was chaotic and desperate from the first moment. Vorthak ships fired their advanced weapons with deadly accuracy. Human vessels exploded in brilliant flashes of light. But the humans kept coming, using ramming attacks and suicide runs when their weapons failed. "Sir, we've lost 60 ships already," Hayes reported. "The aliens have only lost 12. "Keep fighting," Rodriguez replied. "Elena needs more time." Meanwhile, Captain Vasquez piloted her stealth ship through the chaos of battle. The Ghost Runner slipped between massive alien vessels, invisible to their sensors. Elena could see the Vorthak command ship ahead, an enormous creature that looked more grown than built. "Almost there," Elena whispered to her crew. "Prepare the virus for upload." The command ship was the size of a small moon, with tentacle-like extensions that pulsed with dark energy. Elena could feel the alien thoughts flowing through those extensions, coordinating the entire Vorthak fleet. "Contact in 30 seconds, reported Lieutenant Park. Elena watched her brother's fleet dying on her sensors. Human ships were falling like shooting stars, but they kept fighting. Admiral Rodriguez's voice came over the radio, calm despite the carnage around him. "All ships, concentrate fire on their dreadnoughts. Make every shot count." The Ghost Runner touched the surface of the alien command ship. Elena felt a strange vibration through her hull, as if the ship was alive and had noticed her presence. "Upload the virus now," Elena ordered. Dr. Park's quantum virus flowed through the connection into the Vorthak network. For a moment, nothing happened. Then, the alien ship began to shudder. "It's working," Park reported excitedly. "The virus is spreading through their communication network." Elena watched in amazement as the Vorthak fleet began to fall apart. Ships that had moved in perfect formation suddenly flew in different directions. Some alien vessels fired on each other by mistake. Others simply stopped moving entirely. "This is Admiral Rodriguez to all human ships," came the voice over the radio. "Unknown effect is disrupting enemy fleet. Press the attack." The tide of battle turned in seconds. Confused, Vorthak ships became easy targets for human weapons. The aliens' greatest strength, ISE, their hive mind coordination, had become their greatest weakness. Elena piloted her ship away from the command vessel as it began to break apart. The quantum virus was overloading the alien network, causing physical damage to their organic technology. "Captain, we need to get out of here," Park warned. "The command ship is going to explode." Elena pushed her engines to maximum power. Behind her, the Vorthak command ship tore itself apart as millions of alien minds tried to think through one overloaded brain. The explosion lit up the Jupiter system like a second sun. When the light faded, the Vorthak fleet was scattered and defenseless. Human ships hunted down the surviving aliens one by one. Rodriguez watched from his bridge as the last alien vessel was destroyed. The war was over, but the cost had been terrible. 2/3 of the human fleet was gone, including some of his best officers. "Sir, incoming transmission from Captain Vasquez," Williams reported. Elena's face appeared on the screen again. She was smiling despite everything they had lost. "Mission accomplished, Admiral. The virus worked better than we hoped." Rodriguez nodded. "Well done, Captain. Sarah would be proud." "Foreman." Elena's smile faded slightly. "Admiral, there's something else. Before their network collapsed, I detected other signals. The Vorthak weren't the only alien race out there. Some of the signals were asking for help." Rodriguez understood the implication immediately. Somewhere in the galaxy, other species were fighting for survival against threats like the Vorthak. "Set course for Earth, Captain," Rodriguez ordered. "We have a lot of work to do." As the surviving human ships began their journey home, Rodriguez thought about humanity's future. They had won this war, but at a terrible price. Now they had to decide what kind of galactic power they wanted to become. 6 months after the battle at Jupiter, Elena Chen stood on the bridge of humanity's newest flagship. The ship had once been the Vorthak command vessel, but human engineers had rebuilt it completely. Now it served as the centerpiece of Earth's expanding fleet. "Commander Chen, we're receiving a distress signal," reported Lieutenant Torres from the communications station. "It's coming from the Rigel system, about 40 light-years from here." Elena studied the signal data on her screen. After the war with the Vorthak, humanity had become very good at reading alien communications. This message was definitely a call for help. "Can you translate it?" Elena asked. "Working on it now, ma'am," Torres replied. After a few minutes, he looked up with concern. "It's from a species called the Kilani. They're under attack by something called the Dark Swarm. The message says they have maybe 2 weeks before their last planet falls." Elena nodded. This was the 3rd distress call they had received this month. Word was spreading through the galaxy that humans had defeated the Vorthak hegemony. Other species were starting to ask for help. "Set course for the Rigel system," Elena ordered. "Maximum speed." "Ma'am, shouldn't we contact Earth Command first?" asked her second-in-command, Captain Martinez. Elena smiled. "Earth Command gave us permission to respond to threats as we see fit. Besides, we won't know what we're dealing with until we get there." The human fleet jumped to faster-than-light travel. Elena's task force included 50 ships, all equipped with technology taken from defeated Vorthak vessels. Humanity had learned to combine alien science with human engineering, creating weapons and defenses more powerful than either could achieve alone. 3 days later, they arrived in the Rigel system. What they found was worse than Elena had expected. 7 alien worlds were burning. Thousands of strange black ships swarmed through space like angry insects, destroying everything they touched. "My God," whispered Captain Martinez. "There must be 10,000 enemy ships out there." Elena studied the tactical display. The dark swarm ships were different from the Vorthak vessels. These looked like living shadows that bent light around them. They moved in chaotic patterns, not the organized formations that aliens usually preferred. "Ma'am, I'm detecting survivors on the 4th planet," Torres reported. "Maybe a few million Kalani are still alive in underground shelters." Elena made her decision quickly. "Martinez, take half the fleet and begin evacuating survivors. I'll lead the other half against those swarm ships." "Commander, we're outnumbered 200 to 1, Martinez protested. "The Vorthak outnumbered us too," Elena replied. "We'll figure something out." Elena's ships moved toward the swarm fleet. As they got closer, she could see that the enemy vessels were not built by any intelligent species. They looked more like space-borne creatures that had evolved in the darkness between stars. "Open fire," Elena commanded. Human weapons lit up space with nuclear fire and energy beams. The attack destroyed dozens of swarm creatures, but hundreds more took their place. The creatures fought like animals, all instinct and aggression with no strategy or coordination. "They're not communicating at all," Torres observed. "No radio signals, no coordination. They just attack anything that moves." 2000. Elena realized that these creatures were the opposite of the Vorthak. Where the aliens had been perfectly organized, the swarm was perfectly chaotic. Human tactics that had worked against the Vorthak might not work here. "All ships, spread out," Elena ordered. "Use hit and run tactics. Don't let them surround you." The battle raged for hours. Human ships darted in and out of the swarm, picking off individual creatures. But for every creature they destroyed, more appeared from the darkness of space. "Commander, we're running low on ammunition," Martinez reported over the radio. "And I'm only halfway done with the evacuation." Elena looked at the tactical display. Her fleet was holding the line, but barely. They needed a new strategy. "Torres, scan those creatures more carefully," Elena ordered. "There has to be something we're missing." After several minutes of analysis, Torres made an important discovery. "Ma'am, the creatures are following scent trails in space, chemical traces left by destroyed ships. They're like space sharks following blood in the water." Elena smiled grimly. That gave her an idea. "All ships, cease fire and move to the edge of the system," Elena commanded. "We're going to let them follow us." "Commander, that's crazy," Martinez protested. "If we lead them away from the planet, they'll catch us in open space." "Trust me," Elena replied. "I have a plan." Elena's ships moved toward the outer edge of the Rigel system, trailing chemical markers that the creatures could follow. As predicted, the entire swarm abandoned the planets and chased after the human fleet. When they reached the edge of the system, Elena activated her ship's most powerful weapon, a gravity bomb taken from a destroyed Vorthak dreadnought. The weapon created a small artificial black hole that lasted only a few seconds. The black hole pulled in thousands of swarm creatures at once. When it collapsed, most of the enemy fleet was gone. The surviving creatures scattered in confusion, no longer following any scent trail. "Incredible," Martinez breathed over the radio. "How did you know that would work?" "I didn't," Elena admitted. "But sometimes you have to try crazy things when normal tactics fail." With the swarm destroyed, Elena's fleet returned to the Kalani homeworld. The grateful aliens met them with tears and celebration. The Kalani looked like tall, thin humans with silver skin and large black eyes. "You saved our entire civilization," said Prime Leader Vash, the colony's government head. "No debt," Elena replied. "Just pass the word to other species. If they need help against threats like this, humanity will answer." Prime Leader Vash looked surprised. "But why? What do you gain from helping strangers?" Elena thought about her sister Sarah, who had died trying to warn Earth about the Vorthok. She thought about Admiral Rodriguez, who had sacrificed most of the human fleet to defeat the aliens. She thought about all the humans who had chosen to fight instead of running away. "Because that's what humans do," Elena said simply. "We help people who need help." 2 months later, Elena stood in the command center of Luna Base, watching reports come in from across the galaxy. Human task forces were responding to threats in a dozen different star systems. Pirates, hostile aliens, spaceborne predators. Humanity was fighting them all. "Commander, another distress call," Torres announced. "The Andorian Republic is under attack by something called the Iron Fleet." Elena looked at the message display. The signal had taken 30 years to reach Earth, traveling at light speed from the far side of the galaxy. "Prep the fleet," Elena ordered. "We're going to Andoria." "Ma'am, that's almost 100 light-years away," Torres pointed out. "It will take us months to get there." Elena smiled. "Then we'd better leave soon." As her ships prepared for another long journey, Elena received a priority message from Earth. Admiral Rodriguez appeared on her screen, looking older, but determined. "Elena, I wanted you to know that the Galactic Council has officially recognized humanity as a protector species," Rodriguez said. 12 different alien civilizations have requested our help in the past month. Are we ready for that kind of responsibility?" Elena asked. Rodriguez was quiet for a moment. "I think about Sarah sometimes, and her final message about humanity burning bright. I think this is what she meant. We don't just burn bright for ourselves, but for others who need that light in the darkness." Elena nodded. "Understood, Admiral. We won't let them down." As Elena's fleet jumped to faster-than-light travel toward the Andoria system, she thought about humanity's future among the stars. They had started as a small mining colony on Kepler 442b, fighting desperately for survival. Now they were the galaxy's protectors, bringing hope to species who had none. The Vorthok had tried to destroy humanity with fire and death. Instead, they had forged something stronger, a civilization that refused to let others suffer the way they had suffered. Elena smiled as the stars streamed past her view screen. Humanity was no longer just fighting to survive. They were fighting to make sure that other species could survive too. Quote, "And across the galaxy, when alien civilizations faced their darkest hour, they whispered the same message that had once saved Earth. Tell them humanity is coming. And this time, we're bringing fire." But now that fire burned not for destruction, but for protection. The human fleet carried light into the darkest corners of space, ensuring that no species would face extinction alone. Elena had kept her promise to her sister. Humanity was burning bright indeed.